Hello everyone, this is Mike from Dimensional Walking. And today we're going to stay with kind of a theme I've been talking about for the last few weeks. Uh, and the theme is basically, why is the government or government agencies or Congress or whoever so interested almost suddenly to go public and talk about UFOs, UAPs, whatever they're calling it today. Um, so this last week, NASA announced that they were going to jump into the fray. They were going to start a study this fall, and I think it was going to go for about 9 months. Let me check my notes. Yeah, 9 months. But here's the catch. The catch is they're going to spend a whole whopping $100,000 on it. Okay, think about that. You know, these programs, anything that you do for 9 months is going to cost more than $100,000 if you're planning on doing a really good job of it. And I'm not really too sure exactly what they're going to do, but it ain't going to be much of anything. But for some reason, they wanted to get out there to the public, since everybody else is kind of dancing around and wanting to talk about UFOs and UAPs. Uh, some reason they want to get out in front of something. Okay, that's usually what this is all about. And it's kind of weirdly encouraging, even though they're only spending $100,000. Uh, what is weirdly encouraging is the fact that they're trying to do something, meaning that something is going to happen. Okay, let's just think about that for a minute. The Congress, other agencies, even the CIA is a little bit involved in this, are all talking it. They're talking about it, even though I know that they know a whole bunch about UFOs and aliens, etc. It's been going on for a very long time. I've been in this business, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, research business, for over 50 years. And I've talked to scientists, I've talked to law enforcement, I've talked to military, I talked to air traffic controllers, I've talked to all kinds of people. And all of them admit, not always directly, but many times indirectly, that UFOs exist and aliens exist. So I know it exists, but they've never really come forward like they are now. There is this flurry of activity that I've never seen as long as I've been doing this. Most of the time, there's complete denials or there's no conversation at all. Now, all of a sudden, we got these different entities are trying to get in the front of the line. Okay? So, the only entities that I would suspect somehow along the way would be the big billionaires, the Bezos, the Musks, the Bransons, since they got space type programs going on right now, and they're doing quite well. Now, one of the reasons maybe NASA has decided to try to jump into the in crowd, I guess we'll call it, is because they're losing ground to the commercial players, and they want to kind of get there and get their headlines or get something out there. I don't think the billionaires are going to be that interested per se in the UFO world. Okay, they're just interested in getting contracts from the government so they can do their things and help the government, etc. Now, Musk, of course, is shooting out there in the future. He wants to go to the moon. He wants to go to Mars, etc. Now, as I written before or posted before, did a video before on Musk. His issue will always be, in my opinion, is they're not going to the aliens will not let him go to Mars. They may let him have a settlement on the moon, but they will not let him have a settlement on Mars. Um, so, um, anyways, but that's a whole nother story. It's a whole nother video. You can go and see the video. It's on the Dimensional Walking channel. And my feelings about that and why I feel that's the case as far as Musk goes. But anyways, this is kind of fascinating. $100,000 for 9 months of a study. I think they're just going to take the data that is present right now and analyze it a little more deeper than other groups have. Although it's all kind of a smoky mirrors type deal, and I don't see too much coming out of any of it really. Although they seem to want to be there so they can maybe later on go back and say, oh well, we told you so, or we've been involved. You heard that we've been involved. So that may be the reason. I don't really know. But there's a couple interesting guys that are involved in this at the NASA end of this. And the chief science officer, mission science officer, is a guy named Thomas Zubakin. I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong, but that's who it is. And he made some interesting statements. One of the statements he made is that he's already feeling the criticism for the traditional scientific community, saying that NASA is selling out because they're getting themselves involved with a very controversial topic. But he strongly disagrees. He really does. And that's interesting. He strongly disagrees. And he seems not to be afraid to go out there and look around a little bit at the least. So that should raise some interesting flags. Not red flags, but just interesting flags. So then there's another guy. Let me see if I can catch his name. Oh, he's the head guy. The head guy is that's going to be leading this charge is a guy named David Spergel, and he's an astrophysicist. So he's going to kind of be the guy, and I guess he's a cosmetologist, not a cosmetologist. That's a hair person. He's a cosmologist, and he said, one of the statements he made is that they know very little about the universe, and is absolutely true. We may know about 5% about the universe, and the other 95% is basically unknown. So he's kind of throwing the UFOs into that category. Now, all said, none of them bring up extraterrestrials or aliens at all, even though they're kind of leaning that maybe there's this UFO possibility, okay? But they're not really, they don't want to venture that far over there. But the reality is that the UFOs are real UFOs. Obviously, somebody is directing those, okay? And I doubt highly, well, they may try to twist it back to Russia or China or some other country in the world that is directing these, okay? But chances are, hopefully, they won't try that if they actually come up with anything that's going to look like it's a UFO from another place or from some aliens, etc. So, anyways, they're going to do this for this 9 months for $100,000, and they claim they're going to look at data primarily, non-classified data. So it's going to be some military. It's probably going to be some information and photos and things that maybe came from a public arena from researchers in the public. So, anyways, I think it's kind of fascinating from that standpoint. And one of the things that Thomas, who is again the head of the mission, science mission at NASA, he made an interesting statement that I'm going to kind of close this off with. And he said, frankly, I think there is a new science to be discussed. And he's absolutely right. If somebody comes out and if they come out, the government comes out and say, yes, there are UFOs, they are being directed by some type of alien force, obviously it's going to be a brand new science, and it's going to change everything that we think about. Now, I don't think any of that should be scary. And the reason I don't think any of it should be scary is this has been going on for a very long time. And I will state this again, and I'm sure I'm going to state it over and over again. Alien beings have been among us for a very long time. Okay? They've been around since as long as we've been here on Earth and before. I have no doubt in my mind about that, okay? I write about giants. I write about all kinds of different things that indicate that they've been around doing things, and I believe they've been walking among us, either as hybrids or disguised aliens, etc. So we've been involved. So I don't think there's anything overly to fear at this point. Uh, if you don't like how things are going, maybe the aliens have had something to do about it the last 100 years or more. And well, it's going to be a lot more than that. So anyways, with that said, that's about all I have on it. I just wanted to bring this up. I don't know if there's going to be any other hot breaking news in the next couple weeks, and so I may not be talking about this type of stuff for a while. But I think it's really fascinating, and I recommend everybody keep their ears open, their eyes open, and see what else comes up, because something is going on. Something is truly going on that I have never in my 50-some years have felt out in the public, and it's going to start grabbing more headlines, I believe. I don't know if they know something's going to happen, some big event, and they just want to be kind of ahead of it. I don't know. I don't know that yet. And if I find out, I will let you know. Anyways, this is Mike. If you like us, like us. If you want to send us a kind of a private email, you can send it to dimensionalwalking@gmail.com. We need your subscriptions. Please subscribe. I like to get to 1,000 subscribers here as quick as I can, if that's possible. I don't know. With your help, I could get there. We could get there. Rainbow and I could get there. So anyways, with all that said, happy trails. We'll see you. Bye-bye.